Hello there, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. And it seems like every time I try to go in and say that one, I always get flibbled up. So I am Natasha Venter, and I'm an intuitive, a personal awareness life coach. I also love to do feng shui and help people go forward in life, even if that's going through the energy of their homes, or if that's going through their own personal walk, or however they need to go through to walk forward. And to welcome to having this moment in your life to move forward. I am kind of flubbled in my words today, and I apologize, but we've been going through a lot lately, and you know, I just kind of go into a quiet space in between doing one thing to another, and so my brain kind of goes into this language that it's like, okay, let me be quiet for a moment. Well, sometimes I just jump on right after I get out of that, and so that's why I'm a little flubbled in the morning or in the moment, because it's like almost me waking up in the morning. And I know a lot of us struggle waking up in the morning, or there's those others that just pop up and then they go forward and then they kind of struggle later in the day. So, with that, I just want you to know that I present myself as human. And presenting myself as human is something that I enjoy because everybody in their own life is human. And if you can't see me making mistakes, you know, who's right, who's wrong, who's doing, who's not. We all have these moments where we're perfect and not perfect. And I want you to know that I am me no matter what you see. I'm caring, I'm loving, and I make flubbles. Like I tell the girls or the people at school that I help to read, because I'm there just a short time now, just because I want to keep my foot in the real world, because of the fact that I know that when I can plant seeds of love and acceptance in these young people, I know that I am doing my greater good. And then when I'm helping somebody in a session, I love to support you doing the work in a loving way for yourself to move forward. And as we go forth and as we manage our life and as we are accepting who we are, life happens that way. And that's where I wanted to have communication about how our universe. Last week, I was talking about how Mother Mary, Jesus, and the fairies, and a lot of the energies around us are here to support us. Well, I got to Archangel Azrael, the guide that I work with, and he kind of popped in as I do channel. And channeling is not something to be scared of. Channeling is something that I am very strong about in my guides and in my knowing that I only channel those of love. So when I do my mediumship, I have those loved ones standing outside of me. They're not allowed to channel in me because of the fact that they are not allowed to be in this vessel of mine. Yet at the same time, though, these angels, my contract with myself and them, I know I can trust them wholeheartedly no matter what. And you'll find that in my life, that if you witness me, there's a trust that I have in the universe. Even my loved ones around me don't quite understand the trust that I have. And that's the thing. Like I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and she had something that came up, and it was a younger person, and they ended up having a situation, and I said, you know what? Trust that we don't know yet. And this is when I say that even if I don't have all the answers or all the knowings of happenings, or there's something that was unseen, I said sometimes I have to say to myself, I trust, I trust, and trust. I trust in the greater good. I trust, I trust, I trust. I trust in the greater good. Because I said that sometimes, to her, I said this, that sometimes we don't know why things are happening. But yet sometimes if we get all up in a knot before we find out all the details, what was the purpose of that knot? was called emotions. It was called all this stuff. And that didn't really help anybody, especially the person that was up in a knot. And that's where I went and I said to her, I said, just if you can, trust as much as you can and know that everything happens. And then I saw the child at the end of the day, and I said, the other person was fine, weren't they? And they go, oh, yes, they were. I said, see, sometimes if we trust the process, it's not as bad as we think it is. And that's the thing about life is that sometimes where our minds make it our problems bigger than it is. And I know I'm going to do card readings today. And if you want a card reading, please put in, because I would love to put that energy towards you if you'd like it. Yeah, at the same time, I'm going to be talking a little bit first because I wanted to talk about how the universe is here to support us. The universe is here to support us through our journeys, through our life. And as we go through our life, it's amazing how if we surrender, trust, and accept, the situation around us many times works out better than we thought it would. And, life is never going to be the way we always think it should be because of the fact that life happens around us. So that's where I really trust when I get messages from the universe, because that's kind of like the phone calls through the universe. The universe shows us those moments. Hello, Cassandra. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you. Yes, I would love to support you. So I'm going to be doing the card readings later. But that there's moments in our lives where when we walk forward, that the universe gives us tellers that they're around. And I can tell you that the animals, our animals around us, they're almost like the quick line to how the universe says, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, we got you. And this is what we want you to know. We're always in, hi, Veronica. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here too. That as we go forward and as we navigate through life, it's amazing how we get those tellers. Now, sometimes those angels, remember, if you were here last Wednesday, I was talking about how the angels came in and gave me messages. And, I was talking about this one moment where I was when my loved one, he was still drinking. He was not in his right mind, as many of us who are dealing with people who are substance abusers, or the abuser or the substance is abusing them in some ways. That there was these moments where, you feel things, things. And like I said, that one time that I was in the garage of my mother-in-law's house down in Florida, and I wasn't even in my home. This was my home of my mother-in-law and father-in-law, that I felt the angel's wings around me when I was in desperate need. I just felt this blanket. You know how you feel that warmth of a blanket coming around your shoulders? Like a shawl type of thing? Well, that's what it felt like. Just that warmth coming around. Well, when you're in these moments and when you're going through life, please believe that you do have these beings around you helping you. And as we walk forward and as we go through life, we can call upon them for help. Please help me. And then trust the process of it happening. That's the one thing I don't know if I mentioned, was because time got short on with me, that as we ask these unions with our angels and guides and ascendant masters, and I didn't even get into ascendant masters last time. Ascendant masters, they're a gift too, because they tend to be one of our guides that we get help with when we're in the midst of doing something. So with that as we get help and as we go forward. Now I'm going to tell you, so going back to last weekend or last week on Wednesday, that I was in a fight with my husband for some odd, I don't know what I did to trigger. I don't remember. It was over 15 years ago now, that as I triggered that triggered a fight, and all I could do to walk around my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house in the middle of the night in this argument. And I went into the garage just to get away. And if we needed to talk, we could talk in the quieterness of the garage instead of the whole house. And as I did that, I sat there in the dark because the light came on, as you trigger the lights in the garage, that there was this warmth coming around me, and the angels. I know it felt like Raphael, because Raphael has that Reiki energy and he's just got a quietness. Michael has a strength to him and a quietness, but I didn't really care. I just knew that I just had love around me. Well, the thing I didn't talk about is how our guides come in and help us in these sometimes in these moments. And in these moments, that when we go forward, that it's amazing how the team pops us forward. Now, I'm intuitive, yes. Yet at the same time, though, I know many people get these moments and they kind of go with them. Well, that's please believe in them. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward, and I got things calmed down and back into our room that we were staying in, and he finally went to sleep, and I was still kind of in distraught. I was in distraughtness because I feel the energy rippling effect around me, and with that I could not go right to sleep. It was troublesome to me, so I slid to the edge of the bed, and I sat up against it, and all of a sudden I kind of felt myself going into, I don't want to call it a meditative sleep, and it could have been a sleep, but there was this moment where I just closed my eyes and I went into a moment, and I saw myself going up a river in a canoe. And I know it was canoe because it was guided by a woman she's Native American, First Nation. She was a guide to me to tell me. And she brought me, because of the fact that it was a night with my husband, she brought me to lifetimes that I spent with my husband in different lifetimes of a physical body. So in this physical body, we had a lifetime, and I knew we needed to do some contractual work. We were doing too deep of a work not to have something to deal with contract. But she took me to different lifetimes where she was my mother and shoved food down my throat. Another lifetime where I was the man and he was the woman, and I was not as liking to him, and just different lifetimes where things weren't all the better, and we weren't done with our contract that we were working with our soul. Then we came up to this end point of the canoe ride, and it was almost the beginning of the river. And my husband and I were in a cabin, and I can't tell you if we were in spirit form or in body form, but it felt spirit. And we were in communion together. We had grace together. We were making dinner or having a conversation, and it was graceful. It was loving. It was supportive. It was communion. We didn't have this butting head thing. It was communion. And she said, and I got the feeling, this is what you can have. This is what is possible for you. So we got back in the canoe and we came back downriver. Not really visiting any lifetimes. We came back downriver. And at this point, sitting on the floor, leaning up against the edge of the bed, I knew there was greater possibilities for us. If we can get there, if we can decide that our physical contract between the two of us can be negotiated differently. And that's what our guides do for us. They wake us up to other possibilities. Now, I'll give you another example of how guides can pop in. For someone who decides to write a book, and it's not their forte, that guides can come in and support us by giving us inspiration to write about something. I ask my guides sometimes when I don't have my newsletter possible. I always ask my guides, okay, bring a possibility in for me. There's something that I'm looking for to write, and I know for me that a lot of times when that happens, I have a conversation with someone, or that there's an idea that pops in my head when I'm first waking up, and I take my phone and I put it on speaker and I speak into it, because writing for me is a struggle. My fingers don't work as fast as my brain, and so that's where technology wonderfully comes forward and helps us out. Well, when we're going through life and navigating through life, that we have these moments where starting new jobs, starting a new possibility. We're navigating now. Like for me, knowing that I'm in this new business for myself, or not, it's not a new business, but doing this intuitive work, that this new technology that's coming out and making things possible, that I'm stepping into places where I used to just go, nope, not having it, and I'd walk away. You would never see me doing this because I didn't see the possibilities of how I can negotiate being on Facebook, being on YouTube, being on Twitter. Oh, being on Twitter at the same time? Oh my gosh. And now I've got it. I've got those possibilities. Well, you know what? It's because of the fact that I've gotten new guides to support me through that possibility. So even though I may not know what that guide is or who that guide is or what they're doing for me, but I appreciate when I get an inspirational thought or an inspirational idea in my head, and I go with it. I trust it. Like the other day, I heard check new possibilities on where you can, because I'm on StreamYard. And so I looked at new broadcasts and I looked at new ones that I can do because I had that inspiration. Check out. I can be on Twitter now. Giving more possibility for someone else to see something that can be said to help them out. So guides many a times don't necessarily ascendant masters guides. Those are like Newton and let's say Astronomus, or it could be even just somebody like, for me, I have a new guide and his name is Roger, and he was a good friend of mine in a past life in World War II that that we did. He had great knowledge of technology, and so I'm getting inspiration left and right to do something. I'm just so excited because this part of me that didn't know what to do is finding inspiration, and I'm showing other people what to do through this process. I just find that amazing about myself. I thank them all the time. I find every night I say I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all my guides who help me through life and help me navigate through life. So as we go through these possibilities and navigations of life, we do have assistance. It's believing it. And when we can believe it and see it and know it by getting those ideas and following through and seeing that actually there's a possibility. Kind of like when you're sitting there and you go, I need to go to the store. Why do I need to go to the store? I forgot I needed to go to the store. What do I need to go to the store? I'll just go anyways because the idea popped in my head to go to the store. As I'm walking around, guess what? I end up meeting up with someone who I have a conversation with. And that changed my day, my perspective. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Or I go to the store and I went to get, let's say, like I kept hearing the other day, ketchup. What was it? Oh, barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce. When I was at the store, barbecue sauce. I kept hearing barbecue sauce. barbecue sauce. And I'm like, going, I have barbecue sauce. I don't need barbecue sauce. Got in the car halfway home. Ketchup. I needed ketchup. Barbecue sauce is next to ketchup. I would have saw the barbecue sauce and then I would have saw the ketchup and I went, I need a ketchup. So with that, many a times we have the choice to listen or not. Believing in who we are. And we are going through such an amazing process. In my mediumship, have been having so many elders, great grandfathers, great grandmothers. And people are saying, I don't know who that is. And I say, but they know you. And I have these greats coming in who are giving these messages of support because during this COVID situation, we're going into places and emotions that they understand. Many of them are first people who came over on ships. Many of them are the ones that came over on the covered wagons. That's our COVID. That's our COVID. And so with that as we're going through and getting our navigation going, we're getting these helpful knowings of just even if it's just love to support us in this work that we're doing of our walk, the work of our walk. And as we go through life and manage our life that way, that it's amazing how we can support ourselves through that. And we get support. So now I'm going to talk about animals. Now I started talking about animals, but I'm going to come back around because those guides, they kind of popped in with my story. Sorry about that. I ate something that was a little bit salty and a little bit thirsty today. So I'm listening to my throat and my body saying, I need a little water today. So with that, the animals. Animals are like the quick dial of a phone call or a text to us about our life. About our life. Animals support us by flying by our cars, by walking on us, on our screen doors, insects. They could be something that the mouse or the cat brought in, a mouse. It could be, birds are amazing. Even our cats and our dogs that walk over and literally put themselves on us instead of just being normally. They're telling us a message. They're telling us a message. So if you don't know what an animal is about, like I just did a video on an alligator card that I got. I don't know if it's alligator card. So yesterday I pulled some cards that I was told intuitively to pull some cards, and I did. And alligator came up. Well, alligators are quite a cool animal. And when I was coming back from my trip from California, in the store as I was walking around, I came back with alligator medicine. He just said, I need to go home with you. And I said, oh, thank you. Thank you. So he did. I took off your price, but he was only a couple dollars. But he said he wanted to support me. And then he was all gold. So knowing that as we're walking, that there's magic of illusion. There's magic of just being as we walk through being in our life. So that's why I was saying that alligator came to me, because animals can come to us in more ways than one. They can come to us by saying, hey, in a store, I'm yours now. What's another one? Yes. Like this guy here decided to come to me in a store too. And he just said, I'm yours. I want to be with you. I just don't want to know what I know, but I'm going to do what I need to do to help you. I'm going to inspire you, even though I'm not very inspiring. So with that as we go through life, we get these things that just say, I need to come home. I need to come home. And they end up being your guides and your assistants, your helpers. One never knows what animal can help you, right? One never knows one who can help you. Like I was saying yesterday, with the alligator medicine, I was feeling a little vulnerable. Well, and I got the message this summer from my father, who's in spirit now over 28 years, that he gave me the message, Natasha, you have emotions. You're not your emotions. You have emotions. You're not your emotions. And then what did I come home with? Alligator medicine. Alligators, they sit at the bottom of the pond or a swamp in the murky waters, and water is about emotions. So in the murky waters, so think about murky emotions. How many of us have murky emotions? Our minds take over, our emotions take over. Those murky emotions, and how they just sit there in the midst of it, calm. They hold their breath. They have this ability of holding their breath without holding their breath, right? They just sit there. They just sit there and they don't react. Now, if they notice something, they'll interact. Is it worth it? Oh, no, not worth it. And they swim off. Or they sit at the top of the water and they support and they navigate. They just sit there on top of all the water, all the top of the emotions, right? And they sit there and they navigate where they want to go. I'm just thinking, yeah, I can use alligator medicine and also get the tougher skin. Sometimes don't mean to offend anybody. I really don't. But some of us wear our emotions and our abilities on our sleeve, and we get reactive to most everything, right? Well, he was telling me, my alligator was telling me, it's time to get a little bit tougher skin. Understand that everybody's going to be going through something. And if somebody has a bad day, is it my bad day? No. So, as I went back to work after the summer, what I ended up doing was I pictured myself, because there was a lot of chaos at work. Pictured myself inside the tornado. A tornado goes around and around and around and around, right? And most of us get in the middle of a tornado, in the middle of the spinning, right? So we're getting carried around with the spinning. We're getting carried around. Well, I kind of decide sometimes to stand in the middle of the tornado, look up and see there's blue sky, and let the chaos go on around me. And practice makes better, right? Practice makes better. So we go around and we go around. So that doesn't mean that the chaos, I'm not observing it, I'm not interacting with it. Sometimes when there's chaos happening, I pull somebody in and I have a conversation with them. And they sit there and observe it. Then they pop back out and they have to deal with what they need to do with. Now, sometimes I have to reach in and help somebody, talk to someone, and then I kind of go back out, go back in the middle of the tornado. Because as the tornado goes around me, even though I feel the energy of it, I should go clockwise, huh? That as I feel the energy of it, it's moving forward. It's helping people and things move forward. And yet, being an observer with no judgment, that it helps me navigate through. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this where I'm supposed to navigate with? Who am I supposed to be involved with? What am I supposed to do about it? Where am I supposed to go with it? What's happening now? Instead of going like a reactive alligator, right? So that's where we can have our guides and our animals doing. So when you're working with animals, if you get a bird that flies, like there's sometimes where I have a hawk or falcon that sits up there as I'm driving down the freeway, and he's sitting kind of up there and he looks down at me, and I'm like going, okay, thank you. So what I'll do is I'll Google You can go to Google and you can check out what falcon means, right? And you can type in falcon. What is the intuitive meaning of falcon? Or what is the Native American meaning for antelope? Or sometimes even on if we're like seeing a video on Facebook or something, and we keep getting the same animal popping up, check out and see if that's an animal for you. Because many a times animals will come in through different facets of ways to reach you: pictures, books, TV, in our cars, as we walk out of the house. They're always there. They're always there. And they can show you how to navigate life and where to go with life. Hi, Bev. How are you? Welcome, welcome. With that we're always having something. Now, I know that many of us are going through something. And if we get a pigeon or a dove, kind of the same family, but not quite, many times that's a message from a loved one. And I know, Bev, you're going through a lot. My love is with you, and I think of you quite often, even though I may not reach out to you. That when we're going through life and managing life, especially when we're going through a lot, we'll see a lot of animals. Now, like there's sometimes where deer will come up and walk to us. So a female deer, let's say, it's time to be gentle with ourselves. It's time to trust our surroundings. Because a deer, they're very attentive. Excuse me, didn't mean to do that. Very attentive on what's around them. And they do have fear and flight. They are very fear and flight. But at the same time, though, the difference between a male and a female is a female will be light on her feet and be gentle. It's time to be gentle with ourselves. It's time to trust our intuitiveness. It's time to not be so much in the future, but be in the now, be in the moment of the now as deer walks and is aware of the now, right? It's time to be either in the midst of what's happening or not in the mix of what's happening. So there again, sometimes they jump over the fence to get away from a situation, or they stop and look at it. Okay, so then decide, is this something to be involved with or not be involved with? Now, if a male walks up and is it's out of the corner of your eye or on the side of the road, think about how a male walks through. He's got a little bit of different, kind of like a saunter to it, doesn't he? He has a knowing to him. So it's time to be a little bit more masculine about your life, how to negotiate where you're going, what you're doing. It's about being a little bit more assertive in your boundaries and not be just a whim at who's and what's going on. So as we walk and as we go forward, look at who the animals are around us and Google. So now I'm going to go into, there's many, a lot of people know of like different belief systems. So like the Hindu and Native American and oh, I'm so sorry, the Catholic type religions. We all have people that we believe in, and this is not, I know of the energies, but we get like pictures of Ganesh. I have Ganesh on my phone. He's not helping me very much in me surrendering that part of me that needs to, I would say needs to put my phone down sometimes, going through a lot. But Ganesh is here to help us break through old patterns, help us negotiate. So I have Ganesh here, and he reminds me to be more empowered with myself. Try to make those decisions to give me strength, to give me wisdom. Just like if we have Shiva who comes into our life. Shiva is about destruction, to rebuild. kind of like the death card when we get a death card in our tarot decks and that kind of stuff. It's about the endings for new beginnings. It's when we see 9/11. 9 is the numbers. 11, 9 is about endings. 11 is about the magical connection for new beginnings, possibilities. Because 1 is about new beginnings. So 11 is that double hockey picks, right? So how can we get a magical moment in our lives? And 1111 is a direct line to the universe. So 9 is about endings. 11 is about magical new beginnings. That's what the message I got about 9/11 was. So we have numbers that come in. We see numbers all the time. That's another thing you can Google. Google is your friend sometimes, or the internet is your friend when you're trying to find out these informations when you don't know. So trust that process. Get those answers, especially if you keep waking up at the same time every morning. Well, there's 2 reasons for that. There's a part of your body that probably needs a little bit of assistance, and also there's something about those numbers. And if you look at what those angel numbers are, or those numbers that the universe is trying to tell you, finding the purpose of the messages coming in, your guides around you are supporting you in different ways. Trusting that process. Trusting that process. Now, is there any questions that we have that I can answer about guides, about angels, about anything like that? Please put it in the comments, because I would love to support you in this journey of finding more about who's around you and what's around you. Okay, so I'm going to be starting some card readings. And, cards are another way to navigate through life. Now, I have several decks of cards. I have Animal deck. I have Claudette Baron Reed, and it's the Map series. So it's this deck here. I also have, now Doreen Virtue kind of has gone through another change. We can always change our minds, but I love her cards. I've had these cards in my possession for probably 20 years, 25 years now. So they're my cards. So I have her fairy deck, and then I have another fairy deck that I'm waking up to that I do read about. I read them, and to me, they're more what fairies are. They're more what fairies are. They're a little bit of everything. If you look at this card, kind of has representation of what fairies are. And they are part of that process. Phyllis, hello, welcome. Hi there. Thank you for coming and staying with us here. As we're going through life and these decks, and then I have Doreen Virtue's Angel deck. And I love this angel deck because it's calm, it's graceful, it gives abundance. And then I have another Claudette Baron Reed's, and it's Mystics of Avalon. I think that and it's just kind of like a Ascendant Masters card. So it has different. I keep getting there's something about the path today, I think, because I keep getting the path card. See, here's another path card. I'm trying to get. There's another path card. So it has like the Novice and another path card. So I'm going to look into those path cards because there's something about, it also has some animals. So the eagle. And as we go through it, and I love community like this. Thank you very much. So we got Cassandra saying, hi, Phyllis. And then we have Phyllis saying grateful. And then we have another one. Hey there. So with that as we go through life and managing life, I would like to do a free card reading for you. So if you would like to have a card, I want to kind of do one from every deck, and I've got about 20 minutes left. So if you would like a specific deck, if you can put it in the comments, I'd be grateful. So if you wanted the Ascendant Masters, if you wanted an animal card, if you wanted the maps, angels, fairy, Okay, so Phyllis, you would love a reading. So can you put in what deck you would like? I'm kind of getting a feeling. Oh, Cassandra's Angel. So Cassandra, we'll do Angel for you. Okay. So I will do one for Bev. Send it Masters Phyllis. Thank you very much. So I will do Cassandra first with Angels, and then I will do Phyllis or Bev next with Angel, and then Phyllis, I will do your Send in Masters. So I will do Cassandra first. So I'm going to put in the intention for this is a message for Cassandra, and as I shuffle, what is there if you're having a specific question, you don't need to tell me, Cassandra, that if you have a specific question, put it out in the energy. So I'm going to put out there, what is it that you need to hear? What is it that you need to hear from you, dear angels, that can support you? Well, I know I'm telling you, I'm hearing in my intuitiveness, trust like you haven't trusted before. Trust that as the process unfolds, that there's things you haven't seen yet, and that if you put your mind towards the negative, it's going to slow down the process. So as much as you can, say cancel, clear, delete that negative, and move forward in the positive. Okay, so think about not necessarily that you want a job with a bunch of money. Think about the job or the situation that you want, that it has grace, it has love, it has abundance, it gives you prosperity, it gives you internal growth. So thinking about that will help you out, Cassandra. Okay. So that's what I was getting intuitively for you. Okay, so the angels. Let me see. Let's go back. You're getting 3 cards, my dear. And this is going to be, okay. Okay, so the first card that I see is patience. So it's upside down. Okay. And it's not necessarily bad or good if it's upside down. The reason why sometimes cards are upside down is because we're having problems with it. It's kind of like going, a car trying to start. So we're having problems with having the patience to navigate through what's in front of us. So patience. Now's the time to learn, study, gather information. Enjoy being the student, because in this future, you will synchronize your knowings into action. So trust the process, patience, synchronize your knowings. And that's the thing is about a lot of us, is that we may have a part of us that knows what to do and we just don't trust them. Okay, so then we have Isabella, which is upright. Okay, and she says, and this is for Cassandra, yes, the timing is right for the new adventure. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. I will read that again. Yes, the timing is right for you. Didn't I tell you at the beginning of this that I was having problems with my words? Yes, the timing is right for the new adventure. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. So with that, trusting the process, trusting who we are, trusting that knowing of where we're going, but keeping it involved. Okay, I don't know what I want, but I know I want love. I know I want grace. I know that I want prosperity. I know I want abundance. I know that I want to be valued. I know you can go back to those basics of what you want, and that will help move forward. Because of the fact that you may not be feeling so strong. So looking at this card, look at this horse. Isn't it just magnificent? Actually, it's a unicorn. Isn't it magnificent? Majestic. Keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miracles, situations to appear. So in other words, keep moving forward. Yes, sometimes we have to kind of go, okay, I got to take a deep breath first. But then we can move forward. We can do what we're needing to do. But it's believing in ourselves. Many of us don't believe in ourselves. And that's the process, is to believe in ourselves as we move forward. I do hope that helps you out, Cassandra, that with everything going on. And if you want to share, go ahead and share. This is live, and so I want to make sure that whatever you share, that you know that this is going to be out there for everybody to see. And that's where I want to have, I value integrity. I value integrity more than almost pretty much anything. Is that if it's not something that you can, if I don't tap into people unless they give me permission. So you being on here asking for a card reading, you're giving me permission. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say patience, have patience, but remember that card was upside down. Isabella says its timing is right, and keep charging forward. Okay. Oop, that card almost, did you see how that card almost flew out of my hands? So keep charging forward. Remember that card was upside down, but remember to breathe. Sometimes if we push too hard, we don't allow the universe to do its work. So that's when it almost flew out of my hand. Remember, that's how our guides help us. That many a times we have scenarios where it's not navigating. Okay, Cassandra. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here. I have a little girl coming into my care as my own child. She loves unicorns, and it's scary. Oh, thank you. You were on spot on. Thank you. Oh, I'm so grateful that I was on. Oh, thank you. I trust that process of what I get. I don't know why I get something. I just trust that process. And you know what? A lot of our children believe in the magic of life, and they're a unique bunch coming in. So it's that trusting that they may know more than us in the spiritual world. And it's trusting that process. Sorry about that. My dog is talking. So as we go through life, and as we're having this ability, and remember that our children are here to teach us. Children are here to teach us. They are here to teach us boundaries. They're here to teach us that we know what we're trying to say. Don't challenge me because I know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so just because of time here, I'm going to move forward. If you are looking for more help, please remember I do private sessions, and you can get a hold of me at angelicclarifications.com. Okay, so I'm going to clear the cards. Okay, and this is for Bev. Okay, hi Bev. This is for you, Angel. So Bev, if you can put your intention out there that that as you're going through, what is it that you want to hear from them? You don't have to put it in here if you don't want to, but if you would like to have a message, your intentions. What is your intentions that you would like? And Bev, I want you to know that your loved ones, the way that you love and care for them, they're sitting in gratitude for you. They're sitting in gratitude, and I want you to know that you're very loved, my dear. You're very loved for who you are and what you've been doing. You have been holding space for a lot, and you are loved. You are very loved. Okay, so Bev. Oh, they stopped me. Okay, you got this one. Okay, so it's upside down. Grace and Antoinette. I think that's how you say that, Antoinette. To help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion, but was upside down. So sometimes when we see other people's point of view a little bit more than our own, there's a misbalance. Or if we're standing too much in our own point of view and not seeing the others, because remember that when people are going through a life-altering experience and their home becomes their chair, or their couch, or their bed, when they're going through illness and their situation becomes closed in, that their world becomes what they are, who they are. And sometimes it's hard to see their perspective. Grace and love to you during that process, because I know that when my mom had Lou Gehrig's disease, that the hospice nurse told me, remember, Natasha, that your mom's world is her bed. She does not move beyond her bed. What she sees is from her bed. Her life is her bed. She has to control something, and anything from that bed is what she can control. And I went, thank you. because my world was the house, the driving to outside I could go to the store, I can go, my world was bigger, my kids going to school. And that's upside down. So grace with you, my dear. There's today 3 cards is coming from this deck. Vanessa. Isn't she beautiful? To make your decision, ask yourself, what brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me further away? To make your decision, ask yourself, what brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? So while making decisions, sometimes we have to make those, this brings me love, this brings me in. That one, okay? Then this one here. So this is Bridget. The cards are upside down, so we must be needing some perspective on which side of the road are we on. Conditions warrant. Look deeper into the situation before proceeding further. So it was upside down. So in other words, please don't rush into things. If you're undecided, step away, go into the bathroom, get a drink of water, do something, step away so that you can get a different perspective to look a little bit further. Because look at how she's spending time just looking, finding that moment. So when in doubt, step back. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Bev. Thank you very much. I am so grateful. Okay, I'm going to scroll up here. So Cassandra, Angel. So Phyllis, you would like Ascendant Masters. Ascendant Masters. So that would be this deck. This would be this deck. And so that's where a lot of times we were getting the path when I was showing you the deck. So Ascendant Masters. So this is for Phyllis. Thank you. So Phyllis. You are more than welcome, Bev. You are a grace, my dear. You are a grace. If you need any more, please, you know how to get a hold of me. Okay. So Phyllis, please put out there the intention of what you would like to have in this card reading, so that it can come out with the truth that you're looking for. As I do this for Phyllis, what does Phyllis need to know? What does Phyllis? That one there. What does Phyllis need to know? So that card almost fell out. Yeah. That one. Hold on to that one. Okay. And then the top card. I just get to pull certain cards out here. Okay. So this one. The horse. The horse. The horse is a grace. So it says up here, accepting help from others, delegating authority. And when you're working with horse is about community, right? It has a leader. Horse packs have leaders. Horse packs also have followers. And usually the last horse is the one that brings up the rear, right? So the last horse isn't about weakness. So remember that when you are in need of community, reach out and be willing to be vulnerable enough to be able to navigate through being in that community, because community takes vulnerability, which vulnerability is a strength. Okay, and then this was the second. So this card was upside down. I love this deck because it has different paths and it all leads down the same path. Perception. But perception was upside down. So remember that as we have perception is something that is a very tricky place, because each person has their own perception. Each person has been brought up by a different upbringing, which leads to that different perception. And as many people are in this world, there is that many perceptions. And so shifting our perception a little bit more, being a little bit empathetic or sympathetic, or a little less. Sometimes we need to have boundaries, yet at the same time, though, there's that balance. And the card being upside down means that there's been a little bit of a challenge in seeing somebody else's perspective, which means giving grace, or that you've been letting your perspective go when somebody else's was stronger. Okay. So I hope that helps, Phyllis. And then uh okay, so then I had to make sure I was going to say this right. Restriction. So perception before restriction. That tells me that there's something that is restricting you because of your perception. It's time to really think about moving forward and knowing that our perception isn't always what our reality is. I think that there's a fourth card that wants to come out here because we're going to need a little bit more clarity on this message. And Ryan, I saw that you gave a message, and I will disruption. Ah, there we go. Yes. See how I was looking for a little bit clearer message from the cards? So you had the horse, which is about community, and then you had restriction and perception and disruption. So in other words, these four cards, remember, okay, so let's look at the numbers also. So perception is about 4 and 6. So that's about home. 6 is about home, is the perception. 3 and 9 is 12, which makes it a 3. So 3 is about that coming back, being in back. So disruption, coming back to home again, coming back to that basics. And then we have perception, which is 6. So you got 2. So you got 3, 6, and 7. So there's something going on that shaking up your perception with the disruption that's going on around you it's moving you forward so that you can be in the place that you're supposed to be. So in other words, like I was talking about being in the middle of the tornado, let your life kind of move you forward. Okay. Instead of thinking, oh, I got to hold on. Holding on means just holding on so you can ride on top of it. Okay. Hold on to the top of the disruption, because there's something going on that changing the restriction of your perception can help you get to the movement of being with the greater community. And those cards were backwards, but that's how I'm reading this, is that as we're giving our knowings and moving forward, that many times there's those moments where it's like, ugh, okay, let's move forward. Okay, so Phyllis, since I was doing the cards for you, that makes sense because I'm asking about my gifts, my purpose, spot on. Yeah. So with that, it's time for you to. It's kind of like the point that many of us who are like stay-at-home moms, okay, that many of us that we have this belief that we don't know anything. Oh no, we know a lot more. So in other words, and many of us believe that what we did before, it's time for us to move forward. And Orion, I can get a card reading in for you. Thank you. I will. I just wanted to put that out there. But Phyllis, it's about time to. I would almost write a list of what you have done in the past, what you know you can do now, what others tell you you're good at. Ask a friend, what am I good at? And write down them and see how that collective can give you a different perception, disrupt your old beliefs about yourself so that you can move forward. Okay? I hope that helps, Phyllis. I hope that helps. Okay. So, Orion, can you put in if you want an animal or Ascendant Masters, Angel, Fairy deck, or the maps? That's where I would read off that one. Oh, you're more than welcome, Phyllis. You're very welcome. Very welcome. I hope that hits home a little bit more and helps you move forward. Like I said, Phyllis, if you want a little bit more in depth, I can help you out with a private session that can move us forward. And you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com. So animal or the Fae card. So the Faes, they've been wanting to talk. They've been wanting to talk. So I will do that deck since we're coming up to the end. And I'm going to read on this deck just to let you know because of the fact that I don't know it as well. Okay, so this is for Orion. Orion. So it's the fairy deck that I'm going to do for you. So put your intentions and what you would like to know, or what your intentions of what you'd like to hear from them. Oh, they're tapping in now. They already knew, but I just wanted you to connect with them. Thank you. Feel your connection. Oh, I can feel it right here. I still would like to talk with you, Orion, because I think you and I can have some very in-depth conversations. Okay, here they come. Okay, so they want me to pick this one for you. 31. So this is the one that you got. And I pulled this deck for me. I love this. Isn't this interesting? Look how they're all looking in different directions and moving forward. This is a good example of what fairies look like. So if you see those things darting out and yes, yes, you are. I can tell. You're also a star being, which to me, fairies, the Fae, are the star beings of our planet. So it's just one of those things. Okay, so it is 31. Let me get the book here. You're very connected to the animals too, by the way. The animals have been trying to speak to you, but you've been pretty occupied in your own world. And so look at what the animals are trying to tell you. If you can. So they're trying to reach out to you. They're whispering to you at least. 31. So 31, 27, 31. So undressing of the salad. I think I pulled this. So card, nope, it's 31. So undressing in a salad, balance. Avoiding extremes, achieving the impossible, being impossible. So this is about, there are times when we have to turn bad back into good. And that isn't always easy, especially if someone else seems determined to turn good luck into bad. Everything is and discriminating at the same time. Confusion is rife, but we still try to create order and put things into balance. The whole universe is hurtling through time at an astonishing rate, and it's very difficult to keep balance on a rapidly moving object. I think this is good for everyone. So remember that sometimes when a card is pulled for someone, we can get something out of it for ourselves, especially if it appears a lurch unpredictably from time to time. Sooner or later, we will drop. Okay, so starter reading. Okay, so the card, and it was upright. Things are in motion, and the outcome is possible. Or is impossible. Can I just restart? And I apologize. Reading is not my forte. Me being dyslexic, reading is not my forte, and I so apologize. Okay, so I'm going to start over. I'm going to ask the guides to help read for me. Okay. Things are in motion, and the outcome is impossible to predict. A cool head is required to deal with this, as is the readiness to jump in whatever direction seems adequate. Exercise cool judgment while staying ready for the unpredictable. Sudden changes of fortune may appear good or bad, but they are in flux and can be rechanneled if necessary. Develop poise, stay calm. You can come out a winner here, but it's only likely to be considerate effort. It's only going to take considerate effort. Use power with delicacy and discernment. Okay, So with that as you're going through life, they're wanting you to know that good is bad and bad is good. It's all about perception. And when we go into life, now I'm going to read the card upside down because there's something about the reversal here. Okay, guides, please help read with me. Imbalance occurs, confusion happens. Lovely balls fall on the floor, and we discover that they are uncooked eggs. Sleight of hand may be happening, and things that appear to be are not, and vice versa. Misdirection may be prevented. Attempts to overcome attempts to over control may be contributing to the problem. Someone may be attempting unethical or unkind manipulations. However, it is worth remembering that out of chaos, we can get some time to create miracles. After all, unity, they created the whole universe that way. So remember that as chaos is happening, there is balance going on. And see how they're all holding a ball? But they're all holding it, knowing that it can drop at any time, but their balance is there. And thank you very much for understanding. It's one of those things, but I'm so grateful that yes, it's like coyote. Yes, it's like the coyote. Coyote, I love coyote because coyote is coyote medicine is magical. It can create great chaos. It can add structure. It can give what it's doing. But at the same time, though, you have to watch because it's a trickster. Okay. So let's see here. I may be under major energetic attack. Let me tap into that. You know, what I'm getting for you, Orion, is that if you believe it, it happens. If you don't believe it, you have the power to stop it. You're in this life to believe in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. I'm not sure if entirely medical, also external. Okay. So with that, it's time for you to really clean up your life. It's really time for you. I'm gonna pull an animal card because I feel like there's an animal card. I'm going over a little bit here, guys. I apologize, but Ryan, I'm gonna pull an animal card for you. What animal can come in for you? Your mind, when you are in the quiet space of yourself, is really taking control, I feel like. So with that, what do you believe may be true or may not be true? Like that other card said, it's about moving forward. Yes, there is something amiss, but yet at the same time, though, you know how a dog shakes off the stress of their day? Have you cleansed yourself lately? There's also where you are staying right now, there's an entity that's trying to attach to you, and it's time for you to put boundaries up. You're a bright light in a dark place, and purged last night. Thank you. So you were saying that there's something amiss, and you purged last night. Good job. Good job. Yeah, it was a great night to do that. That oh, you're more magical than you believe, and it's time for you to believe that. You have magic with a K. You have that old magic that's in you, and it's almost like it's time for you to step into your empowerment. Otherwise, it's going to turn backwards on you. There again, What you believe is what you have. Is it bad? Is it good? But when we're not using our gifts, if we're not using our empowerment, if we're not using our knowings to their full effect, many times they can be like a cramp in a muscle that wants to be released because we didn't use it enough to prep it. So which card from the animal deck? Yes, I'll do that. Sorry, squirreled. Okay, here we go. This one here. I'll pull another one. We can make the animal what we want. What was I just talking about? Finding your own empowerment. Find your own animal. But I will pull another one. Woo! Did you see how that one came out? Oh, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh, what great magic. What great magic. Okay, so you have, first came porcupine. Okay, so porcupine, remember what they do. So porcupine, and it's a 3 card, 2 plus 1 or 1 plus 2 is 3. Porcupine is about protection, about knowing that you can go anywhere and you have protection. You can do what you need to do. Because the wolf is going to support you. The wolf is going to call you home. The wolf is here to protect you, and yes, shielding. So, so you said that you couldn't see, and then you said for the porcupine, shielding. Yes, shielding. Porcupine's great for shielding. It's also very self-secure. Remember, though, it has a soft underside. So remember that we're going to have those points of us that are vulnerable, and that's okay. But remember, you have a back of quills to protect you. You have a back of quills to support. So remember, where you are vulnerable, that you have this other protection in you. But wolf is about here. Stay with the pack. Get with those ones that you know you can trust. Be with your pack. Call to your pack. It's time for you to find your protection. I work with one of my guides is a wolf. It's a big gray wolf, and I use him for protection when I am in need. So when you're sleeping and you're starting to go someplace in your sleep, because you travel a lot in your sleep, ask your wolf to help you, because you're going to be turning from the ugly duckling that you believe you are into the beautiful swan. And the swan is 3 and 9. Ooh, we've had those numbers 6, 3, and 9. Do you notice how many times we've had the 3, 6, 9 in our cards lately? So with that 3, 6. No, 3 and 6. 3 and 6 are the two card numbers that we've had a lot in our cards today. So remember that the swan, it's a process. It's a process from going from one place to another. It's not, we cannot jump and be there. It's about moving forward. It's about doing what we can do. So with that the journey is about believing. And what I said to, I think it was Phyllis, that can apply to you too, Orion. So remember that as you're going through what you're going through, believe this ugly duckling that you think you are. You're definitely not. You have great magic in you that calls in the empowerment, because you can have whatever you want to have. It's up to you to believe in it. Thank you, everybody, for staying with me through this process. And I am so grateful to be here. This has been fun. I love pulling cards for people. And so on Wednesdays, I do this on Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, if you'd like to have a card reading, please watch, and I can pull out one for you. Blessings to you on your journey. And may you are so... Ryan, you said this. Good advice. I hate relying on people, but I can't get through this without my pack colony. You know, this whole thing about vulnerability, it's our greatest strength. Vulnerability looks weak, but it actually makes us being stronger, because of the fact that we cannot do it without our community. And you are so welcome. I am so grateful. Thank you for following me. This has been a blessing to have people watch and interact. I am so grateful to be here. in this moment with you. So if you're looking for any more help, this was just a little scratch on the top of what I can do. So if you would like to go deeper into a little bit more work on what you would like to work through, or if there's something coming up that you would like some support, please know I can help you at angelicclarifications.com, or you can email me at natasha@angelicclarifications.com. I do have time for sessions, and if you mention this this time here, that I can give you, I'm giving a $20 off. So my sessions are usually 100. I'll give them to you for 80, but you got to email me, natasha@angelicclarifications.com. Blessings to you. So if you watch this video and you email me at natasha@angelicclarifications.com and say that I would love a session with you, I'll give it to you for $80. Thank you. Blessings.